HeMan Thundercats 5 is going to be more of the same. Basically, if you've hated every issue of this series so far, this is not going to redeem anything in your eyes. In fact, there's a couple things in here that you're probably going to absolutely hate. But if you're like me and you don't take the mythos so seriously, and you're thinking, this has been a lot of fun seeing these things smash together and break stuff and mix things back and forth, then yeah, I really enjoy this a lot. And this is one of those issues that's just packed with one giant battle. The forces of evil are coming after Castle Grayskull, and so you've got everybody going into attack. You can go in and look for these tiny little guys in the backgrounds of all the shots. You're going to see Stondar and Rock-On. You're going to see Stratos. You're going to see Mossman. You're going to see everybody in the background of this. It's a lot of fun. It's over the top. It's goofy. It's silly. And the ending is just crazy over the top silly. And again, you're going to hate it if you take the mythos way too seriously. One of the things the WWE comics set out to do was show you what life was like outside of the wrestling ring. I mean, doing a comic book just showing guys doing suplexes and body slams isn't really all that great. But for the WWE comic from Boom Studios, you've actually done a really good job of figuring out how to tell stories beyond what happens in the ring. For instance, Seth Rollins has now become the World Heavyweight Champion. Great. What else is there except for him to have a bunch of fights and protect his title belt? Well, being the champion means you have to answer fan questions and go to toy store openings and do autograph signings and fan access stuff and all sorts of stuff that he wasn't really expecting he had to do. So it does a good job of playing on the idea of what it means to be champion and showing how difficult it actually can be. He's got to be the guy who's the face of the company, and sometimes that's a lot harder than you think. It's a great book, and it's well worth the read for anybody who's a fan of WWE. I want to like this. I really do. I know this is supposed to be the new power couple of the Marvel Universe, Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man. And I know Spider-Gwen has her share of fans, and if you love the character, that's great, but I'm really not getting anything out of this story, especially because of the way it's broken down. You have an entire page of dialogue that is literally 6 words. You have conversations that go something like this. Hey, do you think we should? Yeah, I think we should. You really think we should? Well, I think it might be a good idea, but it could be a bad idea. Well, then maybe we shouldn't do it. Yeah, but I think maybe we should. Okay, then we should. And that's the entire way that Bendis writes comics nowadays. And that's like 3 pages of story. I mean, this is just so ridiculous. It is a huge waste of time and money. I know people love Miles Morales. I love the character too. I want to see him have a good book, not this one. I just can't recommend this story because it just goes nowhere and it gets there slowly. One of these days there will come a crossover from Marvel Comics. It'll be written by Dan Slott, and when I see it I will just say no thank you and move on. Unfortunately, I didn't do that this time. Look, Clone Conspiracy wasn't all bad. It certainly had moments where it showed promise and it was kind of interesting and there were some fun, neat things in there, but it ended with a whimper, not with a bang. It ended with really nothing happened. There were no great changes. No characters came out feeling like they'll never be the same. Everyone's more or less unscathed, except maybe Dr. Octopus, and let's face it, nobody really cares about that guy nowadays. This is a crossover, a big event that really wasn't an event. There's nothing all that special or great about it. No one's gonna buy the trade of this. It really just didn't amount to much of anything. So if you didn't read it and you were thinking, maybe this is the end, I'll go back and check it out, don't. Just don't. With as much as Jeff Lemire gets right on a monthly basis, you know that eventually he'd have to mess one up. Luckily, it's not this issue. This is another great issue of Old Man Logan. The storytelling just gets better and better. In fact, this issue I kind of thought might be going downhill a little bit, but at the end it totally redeemed itself. It takes the story in a completely different direction I didn't expect. In fact, it looks like this will be a pivotal issue for changing the direction of the book, which is actually very interesting. But as much as I like the story and as much as I talk about it, the artwork is fantastic. I know I'm going to mess up this name, but it's Sorrentino? is how you pronounce it? No? But anyway, close enough. The artwork in this is phenomenal. There are several painted pages. There's hand-drawn pages. The artwork is always quirky and different and his own style, and it's always fantastic. And this is one of those issues where even if you're not into the story, you could buy it just for the art and still be completely blown away. Just in time for Valentine's Day, they release a Halloween issue. Kind of, I guess. Jonathan and his friend go down to the swamp and they inhale swamp gas and have a bunch of hallucinations about scary stuff and massive amounts of cow milk flooding an old creepy house. It's not that it's a bad issue, it just doesn't seem to have much of a point other than the fact that they can tell a creepy story that doesn't fit for this time of year. I mean, the artwork's good, the pacing is fine, the characters seem natural. Jonathan gets a little shine just in time for his new series. It's hitting the stands the same day, so there's not really a problem other than the fact that it doesn't serve any purpose. It's not particularly special. We don't learn anything grand about it. I guess the only real thing is that maybe there's a hidden clue about the Clark Kent that's running around in Action Comics that's not Superman. But other than that...